Hey, what is up, everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you here today. We are riding home from work today to catch the beginning of the Super Bowl. I hope everybody out there is having tons of fun. Getting very close to Wrestlemania season. It's about halfway through February. And I don't know if there's been an announcement or not, but just basically as a fan sitting here, after WrestleMania 31, I honestly kind of gave up on going to and watching the Hall of Fame actual inductions or the Hall of Fame shows. But one of the things that I really enjoyed on the countdown to WrestleMania was the Monday announcements of wrestlers going into the Hall of Fame. The last few years, they have been sort of letting news companies break the news, like Sports Illustrated or USA Today, people that give some press to WWE throughout the year. And I'm really missing it. I know that I kind of said in years past that they needed to make a change to the Hall of Fame. I mean, they weren't putting in classes like they did at WrestleMania 20 when they sort of brought back the Hall of Fame. It seems like that year at Madison Square Garden, like almost everybody went in. I don't know how many inductions there were, but there was definitely more than 10, if I remember right. And then next year, it sort of took off to a whole new steam with Piper and Hogan both going in. And then each and every year, other than like WrestleMania 26 when they tried to get the Ultimate Warrior, there's been like a real marquee main event name. Sometimes they bring guys back that you're like, there's no way in the world somebody like the Ultimate Warrior is ever going to step foot back into WWE. They actually got Bret Hart to get inducted into the Hall of Fame. I think that was at 22, before actually mending the fences and coming back to WWE for real. He said that he would take the induction. He came and did that, but he didn't do the WrestleMania appearance or anything else. He just kind of wanted that kind of recognition. But I think that was something that kind of started to mend the fences with Bret. But this year, here we are, mid-February. They still got big names that they can put on there. Those names, Vince McMahon, Triple H, with their jobs, in WWE, I don't think they really want to pat themselves on the back and put themselves in. I don't think Triple H is going to be inducted for a long time unless they really get into dire straits one year. I mean, look at the fact that DX went into the Hall of Fame. Shawn had already been there, and he'd already been put there. Triple H was involved in that one, but Triple H didn't get his own. I guess that was a way to get Sean Waltman in, as well as the Outlaws. But I think that they were just kind of like added to boost the show as bringing another main eventer on there. But this year I saw Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock tweeting about the fact that the Midnight Express needed to be put into the Hall of Fame. So I guess there's been no real announcement that this is dead, but I know this year they really changed the WrestleMania travel packages. It's kind of just WrestleMania or bust. It's kind of like, here's your hotel, here's your WrestleMania tickets, but they're not throwing in the I was going to call it Impact, but they're not throwing in the Access. They're not throwing in NXT tickets, Hall of Fame tickets, like they've done of years past. They're kind of saying, you got to go out there and scope your own tickets for those shows, probably so they can make more money in the long run. But then again, I think this is the first year that somebody new is taking over the travel packages for WWE, and they're no longer running them on their own. But it's kind of weird that there is no announcement of anybody going into the Hall of Fame. You can always put The Rock in there. But, to me, I think it's kind of been slim pickings on who's out there. You know, when you think of like WWE champions, there's a guy like Sid Justice, Sid Vicious. You know, you got Bam Bam Bigelow that it was rumored he was going to be put in a while ago. If they wanted to mend some fences with like AEW, maybe finding a way to put Bryan Danielson, Daniel Bryan in there. If they're maybe they don't want to admit that maybe he wouldn't even want to do it because of the fact that he wouldn't want to make it look like his career is over, even though he's not, you know, wrestling for WWE anymore. He's just in AEW. But I remember at WrestleMania 32, I really thought they were putting Bryan Danielson in the Hall of Fame because we thought his career was over. But is anybody out there else? Are they missing the Hall of Fame? Are they noticing that there's nothing really going on there? Or we got to go through a cooling period where we don't do the Hall of Fame for a couple of years, and then all of a sudden, you know, when we got a bigger pool of names, are we gonna bring it back? My only fear is that, you know, they wait too long on somebody. I mean, Vader, I can't remember what year he got put into the Hall of Fame, but he passed away shortly after going in. I would just hate to see them miss on somebody who's not able to be there, because we've seen they don't like to put too many of the fallen wrestlers in together because they don't want to bring a damper on the show. That's why some people say it took so long for the Macho Man to go in at WrestleMania 31, even though he had started to mend the fences with WWE doing the Mattel deal back in 2010 to 2011 roughly, and then having the heart attack shortly after, and not being able to actually be there in person. I'll tell you the truth, I'm making this video saying I miss it, but I can't really think of many other wrestlers. You know, you've got like Miss Elizabeth, it's kind of a question mark whether they're not in there. Lex Luger, you probably wouldn't want to do them together, but you know, we'll have to see what they're thinking, what's out there. Of course, there's always you know, a few wrestlers like Demolition who are on the outs because of, you know, it seems like the lawsuit that's been going on forever with them suing WWE. Maybe they could put in somebody like Chavo Guerrero, who, you know, never won the World Heavyweight Championship. He won the joke of an ECW title, but, you know, he was a really, really good wrestler for a long period, stretching over WCW as well as his run in WWE. So, tell me what you guys think. Who out there's missing, and if you're ready to pack it up on the Hall of Fame and say that was fun, but we'll do it a little bit later, let me know.